Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues, and today we are taking a look at Batman Arkham City Wave 3 of figures. And I believe this is the final wave of the Arkham City figures. And this is one it's been probably my most anticipated figure, and one that I was really hoping to get after seeing the Batman Bruce Wayne from Wave 1 that had Robin and Harley Quinn in it with the unmasked, infected Bruce Wayne. I love the color of this suit. It matches the video game perfectly, and I think color-wise it's a better colored version than the Arkham Asylum Batman that came out a few years prior to this one. The artwork and everything is all the same, still the same bat-cowled shape to the package, so you won't see this package anymore in any of these reviews. The inside, the front artwork, or the inside artwork is still exactly the same with the Arkham City artwork in the background. The back shows the other figures in the wave. We have, of course, the standard Batman, which he probably should have come out in Wave 1, but neither here nor there. The Penguin, Azrael, Clown Thug number 1, Clown Thug number 2, and Ra's al Ghul, however you're pronouncing it, and whoever is pronouncing it. The bio and everything that was written here is exactly the same, so I'm not going to go through reading all of that. If you want to hear that read, go back to the Wave 1 review, and I think maybe I even read it in Wave 2. The inside has now changed. As you can see, Wave 1 figures are shown in here. We have the infected Batman, Bruce Wayne, Harley Quinn, and Robin. And then Arkham City 2 was the Detective Mode Batman, Catwoman, Hush, Riddler, and the very tiny Mad Hatter. So as you can see here, there's also an ad for the video game, which all these are based on the blockbuster video game published by Warner Brothers Interactive, developed by Rocksteady Studios. Very good. So Series 1 in stores now, Series 2 in stores. So in case you didn't know Series 1 and Series 2 were out, you can go to your local comic book stores or Amazon or eBay and buy these very good and wonderful figures. A video game I very much love, and this has high replay value to me personally, as I just love this whole Arkham City video game, and Arkham Asylum for that matter. Like I made mention before, I'll pull him up here. The first corrected Arkham City Batman that we received was from Wave Series 1. As you could tell, actually, this Bruce Wayne might be, they're the same size. This head looks a little bit bigger, so I think if you were to take like the mask off and put it on this one, you could kind of see the head proportions are just a little off. This one does appear to be a tad bit taller, although I guess just depending on how they're standing, it makes them look taller, but I think they're the same size. Yeah, they appear to be the same size. I think it's just the way I've got it positioned here. Everything's exactly the same. Color scheme, the belt, and everything's the same. One might be a little bit brighter. I think it's just in the type of paint that was used. You can see this one is just a tad bit darker. There's Detective Mode off to the side there. But essentially the same figure. This one's a little bit darker. I do like the little lighter where they brought the gray out a little bit. I don't know if that's just a paint issue where this particular batch of gray was lighter or was mixed lighter. Because I know between some figures the paint may change just ever so slightly, but as you can tell, everything else is exactly the same. The bat's in the same spot, the gauntlets are the same, the belts are the same. The only thing that's different between the three Batman, and we'll bring this Batman up here, is obviously in color, but the capes are different. There's the cape on the Detective Mode Batman, and then you can see the cape for the standard Batman, which I believe is the same cape that was used for the Arkham Asylum Batman, and then the cape for basically the Bruce Wayne Batman is kind of a billowing around cape, and I like this cape better than this one. I think you'd put this cape over here, it'd be just absolutely perfect, but I do love this figure. immensely. This is kind of one of those, I know this is more of this Batman's review. The articulation is pretty much the same as this Batman was. You know, the arms are on a little ball joint here. Standard DC collectibles, but nothing is really standard anymore, because what one figure has, another one does not have. So the legs are basically up and down, swivel in the boot, bend at the knee, and as you can see here on mine, I do have some red paint, which I find really weird because there is no red on this Batman. So I noticed it when I was playing around with it when I got it on Friday. I thought, huh, there's red paint here. There's no red paint on this Batman. So apparently somebody must have had red paint on a brush for somebody, and he accidentally got some red paint. So that's my only real paint mark. I mean, the paint is flawless everywhere else. I have no overspray. The head sculpt on the face is just great. I know every time I get a Batman, I say it, and somebody's going to call me out on it. Like, I say this is probably my favorite Batman. Up until this point, I was saying that this is my favorite Batman. I guess it's depending on what Batman you're going to have and want for whatever reason. I know when my wife saw this figure, she's like, "You already have this figure." I'm like, "No, I don't." So she went into the room. She's like, "Oh, this one doesn't have a mask. This one does have a mask." So I think DC Direct could have got around this one. I think it's really cool, as I knock off the gadget. I think it's cool that the mask is shown here. They could have not had this. Maybe just had like a rubber mask for him to hold. And then you could have popped this head off, put that head on. But it's like marketing 101. You'll make a product to get people to buy it. So, and I did. This was the one Batman I probably did not need to buy. I ordered all 3 waves of these as a whole, so this was 3 figures. I think this was 4 figures, if I'm looking at that correctly. 1, 2, 3, 5. And then, excuse me, 3 figures, 5 figures, 6 figures. Good Lord. So I just bought them as a whole set. If I'd have bought them individually, this Batman I would not have bought. I think it's cool that I have 3 different weapons. The electric charge gun, the stenographer, I forget what that's called, and then the gel explosive gun here. So it's kind of cool that all 3 of these Batman can hold either one of these gadgets. So this one I am probably not going to pose anywhere. I did have him kind of standing in for this Batman at the moment, so this one is definitely going to go in a box somewhere, or maybe upstairs where I have other figures. I may put all the Arkham City figures together for a while, but I think once I get limited on space, this one's going to go in a box somewhere. I mean, it's a nice looking figure, but you don't need it. I do like this figure just because of having a Bruce Wayne face, so he'll probably be in a back row somewhere, and this will be the forefront figure. As I have been doing with the Arkham City figures, I have been going to my Arkham City strategy guide and reading the bio that's in here of each of the figures. So I think I'll do that really quick, as I've done for Wave 2. It says, when his parents were gunned down in front of him, young Bruce Wayne resolved to rid Gotham of the criminal element that took their lives. He trained extensively to achieve mental and physical perfection, in addition to mastering martial arts, detective techniques, and criminal psychology. Dressed as a bat to prey on criminals' fear, Batman fights crime in the aid of specialized gadgets, vehicles, operating outside of his secret Batcave below Wayne Manor. As Bruce Wayne can stop many of the world's criminals of Gotham. As Batman, Bruce Wayne can stop many of the worst criminals of Gotham. He has to work to maintain his secret identity, though, because of many enemies would love to strike at Batman through the people he cares about. In addition, Batman's vigilantism would be directly called into question if a face could be put to his name. The events of Arkham Asylum occurred roughly a year ago. Batman arrested the Joker, but it all turned out to be a trap. The ensuing violence damaged many structures on the island and left Arkham entirely unfit for use. That is why sections of Gotham have been materialized. Yeah, there's the word. We'll skip it. And are being used to house Gotham's criminally insane and violent members. Criminally insane and violent members of the city. Batman can't allow this to continue. Man, that was a hard read, Rob. So hopefully you stuck through for that read. This is one of my favorite Batman figures, hands down, from DC Collectibles. Now, we did receive, we'll move this Batman. Well, maybe we won't. This is the Mattel version of the same figure. So now you can kind of do an actual comparison, apples to apples, same type of looking Batman. There is a blue variant that, I mean, this is a real stark blue, which is supposed to kind of represent the blue that this Batman actually is, but it looks more of a black, a very, very deep, dark navy blue, but this looks like a royal blue. So it's basically the same figure. I have the 70s Batman, the oval, the Toys R Us exclusive. That is on my shelf in a package still. I didn't bring that out here. But so we have that. Clearly the DC Direct version, sculpt-wise, is far superior than this one. But I guess it depends what you're looking for. This isn't a bad Batman. It's just not a great Batman. He looks good with my DC... I would say DC UC, but more DC Arkham figures. But if I'm going with one Batman, I'm going to go with this one. Now, this Batman came with Two-Face, and this Batman came with Catwoman. So in order to get Two-Face and Catwoman, you did have to buy both of these together, or, you know, separately. So hands down for me, it's going to be the DC Collectibles DC Direct version. I do like this one, but... just in paint, color, and scheme alone, this Batman is just a great, great looking figure. And I never bought the Arkham Asylum Batman that came out before this one. And now having this Batman, there's no need for me to buy that figure. This is a correct colored version of Batman as he appears in Arkham City, and I like this color scheme way much more than the Arkham Asylum version. So if you haven't bought the Arkham Asylum version, I personally think there's no need to. Just get this guy and you'll be great. You could have probably passed on this Batman and probably have definitely passed on this Detective Mode Batman, unless you're a completist kind of like me and you just bought them all together. I think this Batman is the way to go. I do like this one because of the head, but if you're only, say, hey, Rob, I'm only have enough money for one, this is the one to get. And like I said, unless you like the Mattel version of Catwoman, then you're going to have to buy this one. And if you want a Two-Face in the Mattel, since DC Direct did not make a Two-Face, then you're going to have to buy this Batman as well. So that's going to wrap up this Batman. And last but not least, I like to bring up the Robin from here. They look great together. I was not thinking, and I did not have the Mattel version to kind of compare the Mattel Robin to this Batman. But when I do a whole Arkham City review, I'll have them all up here. But I got to tell you, it was kind of between the two Robins, but seeing this Robin with this Batman, they look very, very good together. So we're going to end the review right here. As always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues signing off and saying we will see you guys next time.